Well, the Beast Relentless is back in the spotlight, just like he was at the start of set 2. If you watched my early videos, you know I made a deck around the pinging damage where Beast can kind of get you like 10 lore in a single turn. Move into the Inklands, and there is now an OTK line where you can literally get 20 lore in a single turn. It's going to revolve around Beast Relentless, the Sheriff of Nottingham, and the Bayou location. We're going to get into the matches where you'll see this combo go off and how effective it can be. Check the timestamps if you just want to skip to the matches, but I do want to go over this deck list because while this deck may seem like a gimmick, let me tell you, it actually seems insanely strong because it's not only reliant on this combo package, it actually is a good deck in and of itself, and if you happen to set up the combo, which is very easy to do and surprisingly consistent, this deck just ends the game instantly. My goodness, I'm scared for what this format might bring. I know I might seem like I'm overhyping it up, but it really does seem that strong right now. Anyways, moving into the deck list here, we are going into 4 Captain Hooks in our 1-drop slot. Normally, you don't play your 1-drop unless you need to react to something, but Hook is there in case you need it. It's also good in the mid game because it can trade up with the 3 strength. In the 2-drop slot, we've got 4 Morph. I've already talked about this many times, but Morph is an absolutely insane card. You don't need to run any little shifts. You can just run Morph and then pack your deck with Floodborns, which is what Steel really likes to do because they have a lot of very powerful Floodborns, which we'll go over. And then 3 Robin Hood, because we do play the Shift Robin Hood, but the little Robin Hood actually has relevance in this deck because of the pinging damage. It obviously combos with Beast. It can help you finish things off with Let the Storm Rage On, similar to how it works in Steel Song. And of course, it's just an additional shift target and an additional 2-drop in that slot. That's really good. Moving into the 3-drop slot, in my opinion, the best legendary in Into the Inklands, at least from what I've seen right now, the Ursula Singer. This card at a 2/3 inkable is off the charts insane. Free Bippity Boppity Boo, free Let the Storm Rage On for a second time, free Strength of the Raging Fire. You're gonna see me combo with this card in these matches. If you check out those matches, the card is insane. Like it's just the amount of advantage this card generates you. It literally is an instant tempo swinger, which is kind of what we needed, like cards to swing tempo strongly. But I don't know, man. This card seems pretty broken. I know, again, I'm kind of reacting on first sight here, but in testing, man, that thing is powerful. 3 Benja, because I still think item removal is going to be important. Then, of course, 4 Sheriff of Nottingham, one of your key combo pieces. 4 Beast Tragic Hero, made all the better now because of Morph. You will likely get at least 1 draw, if not more, off of the Beast Tragic Hero if you shift it. But in my opinion, what really surprised me, because I was running 3 of this before, but I've upped it to 4 after I saw how effective it was, is the new Shift Robin Hood. I'm actually so happy that this card is much better than I thought it was going to be, because if you watch my reaction to the reveal video, I was like, ah, man, I love that Robin Hood got like the movie. It got a legendary. I hope it's going to be good. And then I read it and I was like, it's not really that good. Let me tell you, it's good. The fact that it shifts on 3, it curves perfectly off of Morph or Robin Hood into turn 3, shift Robin Hood into Singing Whole New World. And it's absolutely crazy. Plus, there's been many times where you shift this, you just take something out, you gain the 2 lore. It's sitting there that will, as an exerted character, and if it gets taken out, it draws you a card if it's challenged. And if it doesn't get dealt with, you just gain lore off banishing your opponent's cards. And it's a Singer 5, which is, something that I kind of overlooked. The card is absolutely insane in my opinion. Really, really good legendary. And then, of course, we've got 4 of the Beast Relentless. The combo ender, just a good card overall too. You slap this down, your opponent has to answer it, because if they don't answer this on turn 6, the next turn on turn 7, if you drop the Bayou and you drop the Sheriff, the game's over. If the opponent has any sort of board, the game's over. So if the Beast Relentless hits the field, your opponent has to deal with it. 4 Tinkerbell as just another control card, a good shift for Morph, obviously. 3 Ring the Bell, again, kind of a flex spot, but it's ink at worst. At best, it helps you deal with cards that are very difficult for you to out. Plus, with the Robin Hood, with the other damaging cards you play, it makes your Sheriff of Nottingham your Ring the Bell much more valuable, because you can take out threats by just pinging a damage on it with the Robin Hood. 3 Smash, because it's still relevant. 3 Toughness is still kind of in the meta to a certain degree, and I think Smash, again, at worst, is just ink. 2 Bippity Boppity Boo, just another song that you can utilize with the Ursula. Not sure how great this is going to end up being in the deck, but again, anytime you're running Morph, I think you just put at least 2 copies of Bippity Boppity Boo and the Ursulas in the deck, because getting the Morphs back is really, really strong. 3 Let the Storm Rage On. fact that it's uninkable kind of sucks, but again, using it with the Ursula is absolutely insane. So yeah, if you see this card, you're instantly taking something out on turn 3 or 4 when you sing it with the Ursula, or turn 4, I guess technically, right? Because you play Ursula on turn 3. And then you've got 3 Strength of the Raging Fire. Again, this is a card that you can double up with on the Ursula if it sings it. I've taken out 2 cards with that 1 card already in one of my matches, and again, you'll see that in just a moment. And then 4 Whole New Worlds just to shift through your deck even faster. You've got the Beast Tragic Hero to draw, and you've got a Whole New World to reset and try to find your combo pieces. Even if you don't find your combo pieces though, just drawing into your removal, drawing into your big bodies is good enough to just lock down the board and try to win the game. Plus, a Whole New World in and of itself can combo with the Sheriff if you drop the Sheriff a turn before. And then of course for Bayu, you likely want to drop this the turn you're trying to combo because it only has 3 toughness, so if you drop it earlier than that, your opponent is likely outing it. Alright, in this first matchup here, we're going up against Amber Steel, and we are going first. Our opening hand is the double Robin Hood and a Whole New World. We're going to put back all of our later combo pieces because we want to draw Inkables, and we draw pretty well. We're going to start off by inking the Tinkerbell, and since I do have a Whole New World in my hand, I am going to opt to play the Hook because I do intend to play perfectly on curve, playing the Robin Hood on turn 2, and then shifting it into the big Robin Hood and probably singing a Whole New World. But let's see how the match plays out here. We're going to end up inking the Smash and dropping... Oh, I think for a while here because I'm like, do I want to just drop the Morph in case I want to shift something else? But in hindsight, I think I made the right decision in dropping the Robin Hood, and here's why. Because Morph is still ink, right? Whereas the Robin Hood is not. Plus, establishing the Robin Hood, depending on what the opponent does, it might be relevant in order to ping something down. Probably not this early, like I'll have to draw into another removal spell. But yeah, the opponent reveals that they're on the Dalmatian stuff, so I'm like, okay, I can opt to play a little bit slower here. I think I opt to establish the Ursula, which is the stronger play than shifting the Robin Hood, since Robin Hood can't, shift and take something out to get the 2 lore right away. So we establish the Ursula here, and any other songs that I draw into are going to be really, really strong. They drop the Pongo, and look at this. We're going to draw the Sheriff of Nottingham, and at this point, I'm going to shift the Robin Hood now that I've established the Ursula Singer. This is why, like, this deck is just insane. So now I can be like, okay, I'm just going to sing the Whole New World, and anything I draw off of this Ursula is just free value. Look at this. Strength of the Raging Fire, take out Pongo, play it again for free, and take out something else for free. That is insane value in the early game. Like, do you guys understand like how crazy that is? Look at the board states now. I'm gonna opt to ink the Benja here and play the Bayu. Oh, this was the first match I played with this deck, by the way. So you're gonna see, yeah, I'm playing like the Kaboom card. I thought it was a song for some reason, and I make a misplay, but don't worry about it. You'll kind of see what happens. So they just throw their Dalmatian into my Ursula because they know it's a threat, and I draw, let the Storm Rage on, and I'm like, okay, this is just too broken here. So the Robin Hood is going to get 2 lore by taking out the Dalmatian, get 2 damage on it. It's 6 toughness, so that's great. And then let the Storm Rage on will deal 4 damage to this other, I think that's Lucky. Put it on the bottom of the deck, and I just drew 2 cards. Like, look at the board state, look at the cards in hand. Like, I'm in total control here. It's absolutely crazy. We're going to opt to ink this Ursula, which I probably should not do since I've seen how valuable it is. And I got another Whole New World, so I got the land or the location already established, even though, like I said, you probably want to wait to play it because it doesn't get outed. But in this instance, like, I'm in total control. I kaboom my own, or baboom, whatever it's called, my own Ursula because I thought it was a song. So yep, whoops there, because I was gonna sing it and deal 4 damage to something. But yeah, I took that card out of the deck. Obviously, if you watched the first portion with the Decklist video, I'm have to recover from a misplay here. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to drop the Beast Relentless and sing the Whole New World now. And I think it was last turn I didn't utilize my ink or something where I could have moved my characters to the location. So yeah, big misplays on my part. Again, just getting used to the mechanics again. I haven't played this game in like 2 days, so but I'm still in a controlling board state here, so no worries there. They play a Perdita, which is a pretty good legendary in my opinion, and they're just gonna opt to try to slow me down by throwing their Dalmatians into the Robin Hood here. We're still gaining lore off of the Bayu location. We draw into another Strength, which would have been nice to keep the Ursula around, but it's fine. We're gonna drop the Beast and sing a Whole New World after inking. And then probably move Beast to the location because that's what we have to do to set things up. And then next turn, if the opponent doesn't out the location and we don't draw into another one, or they don't out the Beast Tragic Hero, we win the game because we have the Sheriff of Nottingham in our hand that's going to drop. The Baboom glitched on the opponent here too. So they didn't end up doing damage to anything because I think they wanted to take out the location. So yeah, I don't know, it's a weird thing there. They end up flooding the board with more Dalmatians and then quest with Perdita. So they opt not to throw both of their Dalmatians into the location to take it out, and that's going to cost them. They end up taking out the Robin Hood, but it doesn't matter. I draw a card off of it being banished. And now we're going to gain the lore, draw, let the Storm Rage on. And now I don't need to move him there. I don't know why I bother doing that. But now this is the combo. We have the Beast at the location, so whenever he quests, we draw and discard from the Bayou. And because we discard, we ping a damage onto the opponent's character with the Sheriff. And because we ping a damage onto the opponent's character, we are able to ready up the Beast and quest and do this infinite amount of times so that we can loop for game here. As you can see, just draw, discard, trigger Sheriff, and continue to ready Beast and quest for game. So pretty broken combo for game 1. Let's take a look at how it sets up on game 2. All right, this game is even more insane than the first one because I think we pretty much go from like 2 to 20 in a single turn. And again, these may not be like the most competitive ranked matches, but you know, the ranked season is on pause right now as we wait for the next season to get started. But this is just, again, showing you the combo. And honestly, like I said in the decklist portion, unless you answer the Beast Tragic Hero, you're not going to be able to stop this combo if I'm able to drop both the Bayou and the Sheriff on the following turn. And again, because you sift through so many cards with a whole new world, you're likely to see this combo more often than not. So it does look like it's going to be somewhat, you know, achievable. It's not like that much of a gimmick. So the opponent is revealing blue, red, or sapphire, ruby, Pawpsicle, and they're revealing Aladdin's, which is very interesting. I think Aladdin is an interesting card in this next meta because, especially with Morph, well, you have to play Emerald. I think it can definitely surprise a lot of players and really swing the match in your favor, similar to how it did it in set 1 with like Pocket Watch. Anyways, the opponent establishes a Grammatala, and I establish a Robin Hood 2-drop. And this looks perfect for me because I know they're probably going to quest or sing one jump ahead with this Grandma, and I will be able to shift into the Robin Hood, take it out. Yes, they'll get the extra inks, but I will gain 2 lore, only take 1 damage on my Robin Hood, and I have a Singer 5 established on turn 3, which is really strong here. And you can see the utility of this deck, right? Like, if I had a Morph instead of this Robin Hood, I can opt to play the Beast here instead of the Robin Hood. But I think the Robin Hood just represents a lot of good value. The opponent is going to establish a Judy Hopps, pop their Pawpsicle to draw a card, and that's totally fine. And then I believe they have to pass because there's nothing else for them to do. So here we're going to ink one of the Robin Hoods since we have a second one in hand. We're going to shift it onto the 2-drop and then take out the Grammatala as expected. Gain the 2 lore. The opponent is going to get their 5th ink, I believe, off that Grandma. And because they were on the play, they do have a pretty hefty ink advantage on us, but that's totally fine. Our hand looks pretty strong. The issue that we have to worry about though is like those be prepared and things like that messing up our board. But again, if they cast it, it takes up their whole turn, so they kind of lose a lot of tempo behind that. So it's totally fine because we can always reestablish. They establish a Pawpsicle here though, and they're going to draw yet another card. Ink, so they're just like on an item deck here, clearly. Ink the flower, and then what are they going to play? Okay, they let it go, my Robin Hood, and that's actually great for me because that's 2 inks. Which instantly means my Tinkerbell or my Beast is online next turn. We draw into the whole new world, and I'm like, oh man, this is looking pretty strong here. Again, I'm only like susceptible of like they're really high on ink. So well, I mean, so am I now thanks to the Let It Go. But like if they play like Be Prepared and stuff, not now obviously, but like later on, I could be in a little bit of trouble. They're going to ink the Eye of Fates, establish an Aladdin here, and I'm like, okay, that is great. We draw into one of the combo pieces in the Bayou here. And we have to really decide how we want to play this out. I think for a while here, because I'm like, I guess I don't whole new world right now. I'm going to establish a Beast and probably ink the Benja. The popping of the Pawpsicle doesn't seem too relevant. Even if they draw a Hiram, I'll whole new world their hand away anyways. And I establish a second Robin Hood here because next turn, I want to try to establish the Bayou and sing a whole new world. They drop a small Aladdin and play 1 jump ahead, and now they're down to 1 card, and I'm like, okay, this is actually good. Probably not on Be Prepared because they wouldn't be establishing this board if they did. We draw into a Beast Relentless here and a Let the Storm Rage on. So we're going to go ahead and establish the Bayou and the Beast Relentless because I'm like, if the opponent wants to start swinging stuff into the Bayou here, this is fine. because then my Tinkerbell can take out whatever it is that they swing into the location, and then I'll start taking out their board anyways. And then, oh man, off the Beast Tragic Hero, we just draw the OTK anyways, and we don't even need to play a whole new world. So this is what I mean. If you don't take out the Beast Relentless here, if I drop the location and the Sheriff, even though, you know, they're dropped that same turn, I have game. So the opponent has, you know, a lot of toughness on board, so I can ping off of the Sheriff a lot, and Beast Tragic Hero will continue to ready as I draw and discard and trigger the Sheriff, because the Beast is at the location. And yeah, the opponent kind of realizes what's going on now, and unfortunately for them, there's nothing they can do, and this is just a GG. If you do not deal with that Beast Relentless, yeah, I mean, it's game over. And, you know, we're taking out the opponent's board at the same time. So even if you don't win the game, like, you'll just deal 1 damage to everything on the opponent's board and take out their board anyways. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below if you've made it this far. Thank you again for watching. Quantum is out.